Hey everyone, I wanted to make a video on this subject because I feel like there's really no comprehensive guide to restoring one of these quasars here. Now, if you're not up to speed, this is a Quasar VR-1000, a so-called Great Time Machine, as they were marketing it in America as. It was basically just another video format in the late 70s, competing with Beta and VHS, and it just failed horribly. uh, so that's what these machines are. I have a whole bunch of uploads on my channel from uh, these tapes if you want to get an idea of the quality of them. I have so many of these machines to look at. This one came from a buddy of mine who was downsizing, and I was just looking at it because it's just been sitting here since the summertime, and I thought, well, let me see what this thing is, and this thing definitely needs a once over because it is very rough. I cannot get it to play, and it's just eating tapes. So I'm going to take care of that in this video. I'm going to show you what I've been doing on these units to get them in tip-top shape. Okay, just because of the absolute size of this unit, this is like the best I'm going to be able to, best camera angle I'm going to be able to do for a bird's eye view. What I do when I want to evaluate, the condition of the tape path is this top cover here for the basket does pop off. So the two snaps are here. So just take a little flat blade screwdriver and pop them out. There we are. And it comes off like that. So now you get a look into the tape path here. This is your head drum. There's only one video head on this format. Very interesting choice there. So you only have the one video head here on your head drum, which is very small. This is the top. This is the take-up reel here. The bottom here is the supply reel. You have your audio video heads here. Control head as well. Capstans right over here, and then you have a bunch of tape guides around here. This is what a tape looks like with the top half of the cassette removed. This allows you to like, say maybe it's the tape isn't kind of sticking to itself. What I've done is just like give it a little nudge around here, like a little push, because it will take up the tape this way. And like also to help with like rewinding, because that's another issue on these machines is weak rewind, is I've also like helped it a bit by spinning this around that way. But I took my the top half of the test tape off just to see how it would function, as in to get an idea of like where it's struggling and all that. So I'm going to turn it on, and then I'm going to move the lever over. What that did, it undid the cover here, so now the tape will be wrapped around the head drum. Well, when I push play, that's what it should be doing. Hit play and yeah, it's not. It's really struggling there. Yeah, and the auto stop went on. When it senses this take-up reel isn't moving, the auto stop kicks in. It can get really annoying because sometimes it'll kick in like immediately when the thing hasn't even had a chance to warm up. So, but the auto stop gets defeated when you unplug the front here. So I will say that's what I have done in past, just to get past that little annoyance. So long as the mechanism is good. And I'll show you how to test this thing with no cassette inside. So move this lever to the right still, because that's what actually allows the piano keys here to be depressed. So the tape sensor, the start and end of tape sensors are here. I just stick my finger in there because there's a little indent, there's a little window in the basket here. So I just cover up that window, and it's going to think there's a tape inside. Yeah, it's going to be hard to see because there's no... We get a shine a light here. Yeah, when the auto stop kicks in, you have to just move the lever forward and back. So, might be hard to see, but that take-up reel is not, it is struggling. And that is, on this format, that is unacceptable. The amount of torque on the take-up reel will determine the image quality, the amount of tape pressed up against the head drum, and therefore how much image you're going to get on the TV. What I mean by that is, on your conventional VCR, like think VHS, how it goes is that the caption is basically to the right of the head drum, so how well the caption is moving and all that is going to determine is going to affect the picture. And then the take-up reel on VHS is like afterwards, so that's going to be independent of the quality of the caption. The picture, sorry, is going to be independent of the quality of how well the take-up reel is turning. On this format, that's reversed. The caption is before the enters the head drum here, so the take-up reel is what's keeping the tape wrapped around the drum here. So if this were to stop, the tape would basically fall off the drum, and like the first symptom of like a bad belt for the play motor here that rotates this, the tape, there'll be snow coming in from the top of the screen. So that means weak, take-up tension. First thing we're going to have to do is, I mean, it's spinning okay, but it's still really struggling. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go underneath and change the belt. Alright, so taking apart the Quasar unit, it's not too bad. So there's the two side panels, there's two screws on the front here. So these things sometimes come off easy, sometimes not. Like that one came off easy, so you just push it back, and then that's how it comes apart. Yeah, so I had to really, maybe I didn't have to do it there, but they kind of have a good grip on them even after all these years, so I've had to like use a little bit of force to push them off. There's two, right, just two? Yeah. The little wood panel here, two screws hold it together. What is there? Is it one of those stink bugs? God, I heard it buzzing. Ugh. Now you can see into the machine here. Here's your big ass power transformer there. Over here is the audio and tracking board. Getting the front panel off is the most pain in the ass thing to do. First you gotta take all the knobs off. So you have your tracking and skew knobs. Oh, there we are. take these guys off. The little lever here. There we are. There's a knob here for the. Oh, I guess that's a little better. There's a knob here for the. Just have that fall off. Yeah, I don't really like to use the screwdriver because I don't want to add more scratches on the cover here, but I mean, this cover's already pretty knackered as it is. So these two knobs here need to come off. Oy. Yeah, I don't like doing that because it does leave marks on the front, but I really don't know any better way to get these knobs off other than stick a screwdriver in. You know, just Bob's your uncle. There we are. And still, there's more. Oh yeah, you got this little cover here for the VHF. Right, does that? It comes off, right? Kind of leave it in there for now. Also, we do have screws. Yeah, don't forget we still have screws on the bottom there. Oy. So, under the VHF, there's. Oh no. I need a longer bit. Do I have something in here? That's just a one arc, but still. So just from how this little gap here. Can I see a little slot here. I think I can get this little screw under. There we are. Okay. This is what was the final piece for the VHF knob. Little cap here. Okay, so there's still a screw here that they so cleverly hid away. So using my 2-bit Phillips, that just comes right out. Yeah, but there's still all these damn screws underneath. Oh, I haven't had to lift one of these in so long. It's October, so I've been prioritizing horror and spooky stuff and not TV recordings. I still have so many goddamn tapes left on this format. And the guy who gave me this also gave me all of his tapes. So now I have just more stuff to go through. Oh. So this is the bottom of the unit. Many more screws. But in particular, we have these four here that are holding the front end. Yeah, let's put them anywhere. I'll know where they go. At least I hope I'll remember. So that's all the screws for the front cover. It should now come off easily. Oh, duh. That wasn't the last of them. They're like the first screws you see. We have 2 screws on top here, and those are the last that hold this thing in. Boy, I tell you, these things could talk. This thing must have some interesting stories, because it's really been through it. Okay, so just put those metal tabs on top. Now it's gonna undo this cable here. Then unplug. That's what defeats the auto stop, is this plug here. So if I were to run the unit now, the auto stop would not kick in, even if it's struggling with the tape. So remove the top off. That'll be important later on, because now we can undo this screw, and then this board will just swing back. I'm sorry, these 2 screws, and then the board here will swing back, and that'll give you access to like the pinch roller and all that jazz, and like this one switch here that I'll clean off. The back here does come off. It's not necessary to remove it, but wonder if, just for the sake of showing you how this thing comes apart, if I should just do that anyway. 2 Phillips screws in the back. Alright, so now it just slides out. The last screw out. Yeah, and you gotta work it its way out, because the AC plug goes through here. Serial number on the back here. Maybe that gives a clue to when this thing was manufactured, because I know on CED players, the RCA ones at least, there is like a guide to like finding out when the player was manufactured, depending on what the serial number on the back is. But there's no like, there's nothing that says manufactured like November of '78 or anything like that. So the final thing to remove to get this thing fully naked is the bottom cover here. Don't bang the vintage Peach of Tech on the bench. So there are screws here, 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 and here. Okay, this thing's going to want to fall down now. Oh, there we are. All right, had to go inside because this thing needed new batteries real bad. So now you'll be able to really see here. So here's the bottom boards. These will deal with your color, video, both playback and record. I think that might be it. Question mark. I don't really know these boards as well as I do like for the Sanyo V-Core format, and that's its own can of worms. So to swing the bottom board out, because we want to get at the bottom of the mech, there are 2 screws here. You don't have to fully remove them, just undo them just enough so you can slide this whole thing out, and then it just swings away like that. That nifty. Alright, so right out of the gate, I see that the headroom belt has been replaced. Uh, Definitely not by a normal substitute because I've not seen any that uh, are orange on the outside and black on the inside. That's interesting. Um, so yeah, you got so many belts here. You have this belt is for the fast forward and rewind capstan, so to say, because this is what the idler tire will prop up against when you want to rewind and fast forward a tape. This is the capstan belt here. Uh, that's that's installed in a different orientation because everything here rotates clockwise, but the capstan rotates in counterclockwise. And the one we want to look at is hidden here, but down there is the motor for playback, and there's a belt that is connected to one wheel here. I'm just going to use terms as I see fit. That goes through a wheel here that spins this bigger wheel, which is what the take-up wheel is connected to. So that's what that is. You have a, I don't know if you call that a flywheel or not. I don't think so. I don't think it would. Anyway, so we want to change that belt. I can tell there's like no give on that belt anymore just by spinning it. So it's a little weird to get to this belt here because it's basically blocked by a solenoid here. What I've done is the solenoid is on its own little plate that's held in by this 3 screws, right? So undo these screws. No, it is just 2 screws. Okay, so the solenoid is held in by 2 screws. You can just move them aside, and that gives you access to the 2 screws that hold the motor in place. And again, these don't have to come all the way out. You just undo them a bit until you can move it as like so. Yeah, just plops out. Yeah, jeez. Oh, it's all cracked. Oy. Yeah. On top of it being cracked, it's developed a little indent here. Just makes it no good. Now, how does the motor itself spin? I wonder if maybe I should get like a drop of oil in there. It generally helps if you drop a little bit of oil down in the motor shaft. It's spinning fine as it is, but just from experience, I've noticed that these things can always use a little more freeing after all the buildup they've been through for God knows how long. What is it, like almost 5 decades? Depending on how long they were using it, 4 to 5 decades. So I'm going to plop this. Just get my little, very tiny flat blade screwdriver soaked and covered in oil, and then put it into the space here and try and move the shaft up and down. Yeah, definitely needs another. I'm doing it from in the side here. I see the little oil drop forming. Just get it there. It's hard on this in particular because the screws magnetize, so it wants to stick to the like all the metal here. Okay, that's absolutely made a difference. Maybe just one more for good luck. Here, use some of the oil that's accumulated on the base here. There we are. That's definitely made a difference. All right. Now I'd say we clean the part where the belt's gonna go as best as we can. Then get it into the flywheel here. Whew. What do you think? Was that filthy? Was that dirty or what? Alright, that'll have to suffice for now. Alright, so the part of installing a new belt on here, I know I've described this before, but I never really done it on camera. So what I've done is I use a 1mm thickness belt. And basically, each and every time where's my dental pick? Here we are. I just wrap it around the flywheel first, just to see how good the fit's going to be. So you basically want it to be a very good fit around the flywheel with like a little bit of give, and you'll see why I do this in a bit. If I can, you don't really need to move the solenoid that out of the way, but I guess that's just how this day's going. I wonder if maybe that's a little too tight, because now it's fit perfectly around the flywheel, but dental pick for, okay, here we are. Like a dental pick for this repair is almost like a must, just because you really don't want any give here. I think you don't want it, you really want a tight fit. So now that the dental pick is around the belt, which is around the flywheel, I'm gonna get the belt onto the motor pulley and then put the motor back in. Oh, there we are. Yeah, then I move the flywheel around a couple times just to work out the kinks in the belt. Well, yeah, I really don't have a perfect size. I don't have a size that I go with. I just go with is this, very flush around the flywheel, and then get my dental pick and use what little give there is to wrap it around the motor as I get that back in. Okay. So I should just okay, yeah, just make sure that's still, it's gonna activate whatever it needs to. Okay, So that's replacing the playback belt on one of these things, how I've done it. Now the real question is, how much better does this thing work just by doing that? Because that'll fix a lot of problems on your unit if that belt is bad. Because like I said, how well the take-up wheel turns determines, basically how much image you're going to get on the screen, because that determines the amount of tension that's basically on the head drum. So just tighten these up a bit. So I'm going to put this back down. I mean, this thing is still a bit far from where I'd like to have it, because this thing is dusty. It's going to be like dust bunnies inside where I don't want them. Jeez. Good thing I didn't dip my fingernail doing that. Okay, so power on. Now that there's the front panel is removed, there's no green light to tell you the power's on. Yeah, greasing this up is something I want to do before sending it off. But just to test the... Oh yeah, the take-up reel is moving much better now. Much better. I guess you won't be able to see that. How does it work with under load? Still a bit of an issue. Oh, okay. I fast forward the tape a bit, and then, yeah, maybe there is a little more to this unit than just basic maintenance. It's moving at a good speed. I can see. Let's get it hooked up to the TV and see. Audio. Yeah. Holy shit indeed, Sally Field.
Funny, I don't remember that turd. Back, where the hell are you? I'll be back on the highway in a second. All right, good buddy, I'll keep mine.
Yeah. Picture looks pretty good. Still a little glitchy on top here, but good. Yeah, I can tell I didn't hit the shower yet today.
I think I just went 10-100.
That's better than 10-200.
That's good.
Yeah, playing with the knobs, the tracking and skew, not doing anything. Here's a black and white and color.
We're on the more wheels a guy, better I like it. I'm the brother of a truck driving mother.
All right, so. Okay, it's weird that like it's allowing the playback to start, but the pinch roller's not pressed up against the capstan. Oh my god. Wait, before I go any further. This switch is known to get dirty. And that'll function that basically bridges like the stuff from the audio control head to like this board here. So now is the time for a little deoxit spray and get it into the contacts here. Work that a bunch of times. Then get this here. I put it on its end so gravity can move it down. Okay. Oh.
Man, you got your ears on? You
Yeah,
like
this
it now that you've got it.
controller solenoid is just stuck.
Two-lane blacktop. Highway marker number 71.
Yeah, that was what's wrong.
Oh, they're doing time. Doing about 25 minutes. Come back.
I don't know why it's stuck. Okay, so I never had to deal with a bad pinch roller mechanism here, but I guess how filthy this unit is, that would kind of be expected. But yeah, make sure this. I won't press the switch because then it'll switch it to record. Yeah, but so maybe just make sure that you spray this with deoxit when you first get a unit. All right, I think it's about time I wrap this up for today. So I still don't know if I'm gonna do. I'm probably gonna do this all one video, so they're probably gonna be cut to like next week or something. So next week when I'm back in here, I'm going to tidy up the rest of this thing, get it more up to standard. So see you in like a couple seconds. Okay, guys, I am back. I don't know how many weeks later this has been, but it's been quite a while since I've last been in the workshop. So, but this thing was basically right in my line of sight, and I knew I better take care of the rest of this thing so I can move it out of the way. So last time we looked at this, we were doing the basic maintenance, getting this thing back up and running. Big thing we did was replacing the play belt, and it last time we tried it, it was working, so that's great. So now we're just going to do just some more cleaning, just so this thing is in the pigsty, and this thing will run easier for whenever tapes go through this. So first, let me just get the test tape out, make sure this thing's still good to go. Oh, there we are. Yeah, one thing we really got, because hear how bad that slide is? Oh, that is rough. But we'll put the tape in first, and then you can. Okay. Press play. Yep. Still works. Beginning of the tape is it's possible it got dirty. It's clearing up. Yeah, so it's still producing video and all that. Man, this is really struggling here. I fixed the skew a bit. Honestly, as we continue to go through this, I'm sure that'll get addressed. That's all good. These things really don't need the electronics looked at from the ones I've noticed. You might notice leaky Mitsubishi capacitors on the boards here, which on other machines I have replaced, but I don't really think I gotta go through all that hassle to replace them on these, if I'm being honest. These are all backup units, and heck, I might even the spares that I do have, I might just end up selling. So I'm good with my stock of players for this format. I just want to help get these things up and running. All right, let's do some more cleaning on this thing. So I'm going to just swing this circuit board out of the way. So I'm going to show you. Oh, I need to undo the screws a little more. Oh my goodness, there we are. You should, yeah, should arch back like that and stay in place. So you can remove the basket on these. There's just 6 screws around the perimeter here. This way we have full access to the tape path, and we can actually get at some of the components there much better than if we didn't, because as you can see, the basket is kind of rather in the way, so we really have to like work around it if we want to clean the tape path. So let's just get the basket out. Last screw here. And it's just, oh wait, it's better to have it ejected in the eject mode. Then just lifts out. Here is your fast forward rewind idler tire. Looks like there's a little, like got nipped at the top here. Yeah, so I'll get to that eventually, but hold on. Well, yeah, without a tape in the way, without any way to plug in a tape, I gotta bend that little copper strip there. And yeah, this is the rewind. So when do I want to hit that? Because I'm inevitably gonna be cleaning the pinch roller with rubber renue. So I would do that at the same time as this. Does it? I don't know if this really needs the reels oiled up, because it's working pretty good. I mean, what am I talking about? This thing's absolutely disgusting inside. I think I should just clean any moving orifice as I see fit. The capstan. Yeah, this gives you a, without the basket, this gives you a very good view of the parts in the tape path. Actually, you know what? Let's get this greased up. Well, first cleaned, then greased up, because this is absolute. This thing is so backed up. Yeah. Ooh, man. No wonder this thing struggles. So just just clean up that bar is doing wonders. Yeah. Now it's probably much smoother. Oh yeah, that is. I'll just dry off the excess rubbing alcohol on here. And then I'll put some white lithium grease on here. So this is the white with lithium I use. See, I'm pretty sure it's a standard, it feels like. So I'm going to get this all on my Q-tip. And then, yeah, I'll just paste it here. And then, of course, once this thing slides, it'll spread the grease about, but I'll also get it on the end here. Oops. Yeah, I'll use the other end to clean off excess. Alright, that's definitely good. Let's just give it a test drive. Oop. Yeah. Alright. That looks good. Yeah. Oh, this feels like $1,000,000 now. Alright. Alright, that's that taken care of. Now, where was I? I wanted to just clean the tape path now. Then eventually, goodness, what should come next? So, of course, just anywhere that the tape touches, that's where you want to apply your Q-tip. So on your control head. Actually, that was pretty clean. Oh, this guidepost wasn't. Ooh, lordy lord. That guidepost wasn't clean. Move the head out of the way. A little cheat code to know where the head is on the head drum. You see, you're not gonna see that, but there's an on-off written on the, telling you like which way to turn the nut here to take the head drum off. On and off. In between that is an arrow. The arrow is where the head drum is, the video head is. So that way you don't have to keep looking at the drum just to see where the video head is. You can just see the writing on top, see where the arrow is, and know that the video head's right there. Some crud there. I don't know what that's about. All right. Yeah, the oil control head and was much clearer than I thought it was going to be. Well, I mean, then again, it was like abhorrently filthy. We would have had much more severe picture problems. Well, I guess kind of the cherry on top will be clean the head drum later on. I don't think I'll do that now, though. So, I'll get the idler for the rewind and fast forward here. You can just spin the AC motor back here, since that controls head drum, capstan, and the idler there. Yeah, not too bad. Then again, it uses a white rubber, so any marks from the white rubber on there probably not going to be super visible, since it's white, white Q-tip against a white idler. Ooh, yeah. No, there's only that we need to get cleaned, but I don't see any more marks, so still be. No, I missed them on the bottom. I can see. I don't know how I'm gonna edit all this. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna upload all this to YouTube. Maybe I'll get cold feed or something. I have 2 more machines to do to go through the process. of restoring. So if I'm not happy with how this comes out, I have like 2 more tries. Am I right? Yeah, I better get the caption now. Yeah, there were some bad spots on the caption. Same, just using the turning the AC motor just to be able to get the caption to rotate. Caption rotates pretty slowly, so yeah, I think that's as clean as I'm gonna get it. All right, let me just wipe off the top of the pinch roller before I take that out to give it some rubber renue. Yeah, that spins nice. Yeah, this time I'm not having issues with the solenoid there, so don't think I got to lubricate or grease anything up. So I'm going to put the unit into rewind mode so that this idler tire can pop up. So get like a little flat blade screwdriver here, just to easily pry off the E-clip. That didn't go flying, thank goodness. Okay, there'll be a washer on top of the tire, so keep that in mind. Yeah, one on the bottom too. So, is there another one? No, they all came out together. All right, excellent. Then we'll do the same for our pinch roller. The E-clip aside. Again, there's going to be a washer on top of it. No washer came up underneath, but there's definitely a washer here. And the bottom of the pinch roller. Yeah, I see a streak mark. Good lord. Yes, clearly that this thing's it's gotten some use. Clean up any old gunk off these shafts here. And there's definitely some crud on these. Ooh, yay. Oh. What do you think? Some old oil or something? Wow. Then just stick your Q-tip into the. Ugh. Man, oh man. Okay. That's all that cleaned. Before I put these gloves on, I guess I'll make a quick mention that the gloves inside are not the same gloves because I've used them all up. I'm keeping the box and just storing gloves in here. As you see, these were once Rite Aid gloves, Rite Aid brand gloves, and as of beginning of October, Rite Aid is no more. They closed down all their final stores. So, which is sad if you ask me, because I was kind of loyal to them. They had like darn good selection of movies. I don't know where they got them from, but they had like the weirdest things you could imagine. And as the stores were closing, I did my best to find stores that still had that were still carrying movies and get what I could get. But it's kind of quite a shame to not have them around anymore. Now I'll have to like go with like Walgreens or something like that. Okay. Our handy dandy rubber renew to restore the rubber on the pinch roller and the idler. So let's get to it. Of course, we're wearing gloves because they say don't get this on your hands, on your skin, and I don't want to find out the hard way what the consequences are, so I'll just do what they've asked me to do. Just easier to do with the pinch roller out. Well, with both the pinch roller and the idler tire out, instead of trying to do it while they're on the still attached to the machine. So I get much more precision where I want the Q-tip to swipe. Whereas on the machine, it'll always be rotating. I'm kind of at the, doing it at a 45-degree angle, just so to try and get it everywhere. Yeah, that is, whoa. That is something else. Yeah, nothing really much going on here. Kind of the beauty of these machines is that, again, they just need some mechanical things done. Like, big thing is the play belt. Always seem to go bad on these. But really, the electronics are pretty solid other than the Mitsubishi caps, but the unit still works with those leaking. And yeah, it's really just replacing the play belt and cleaning up the tape path here just so this thing operates as smooth as butter. It's kind of really makes you appreciate the engineering done on these old beasts. Whereas today, if you get like a 4K player where, well, there's so much going on electronically, so many, small transistors inside those big chips, turning on and off, Lord knows how many times that they're all eventually going to die very quickly. But these things, the kind of simplicity and the circuitry, the care put into designing the mechanics, really make these things last. We generally stop when the Q does not come back as black as it did upon starting. Goodness gracious, it's windy out there. But honestly, if I stop like after the next cotton swab, it'll be okay. I just like to really make sure these things are clean before I put them back in. Absolutely better than when we started, but you can still see, you can still make out, where it's made contact with the tape all these years. Yeah, whenever you're working with rubber renew, make sure you're in the well-ventilated area because this is really fumy. Like, good lord, if you put someone in like a room with an open bottle of this, I'm sure they would like pass out because just feels so toxic. It just getting even so much as a whiff of this. And also, don't pour a batch. Don't pour anything into a yogurt bowl. you know, like an Okio yogurt bowl. You can imagine how I came to realize that. So I swear the formula's changed since the first bottle I got in like 2022, because that one, the liquid takes on a pink shade, but the this one here is clear. So I wonder if they've changed the formula up a bit. Still does its thing. All right. I think this is as reasonable as I can get it. All right. Just put that back in. Okay, then I'll clip it back down once I take care of the idler tire and get the gloves off. Now onto the idler tire here. Now, the rubber is this kind of tan color here. Yeah, there is like a... There does look to be like a little nip in the rubber and the idler tire, but... Now, the purpose of doing this is not going to affect playback, but this is going to affect the quality of how the machine fast forwards and rewinds tapes. That is a big problem with this format, is that, you know, obviously because of just how much tape is going on and how it's threaded, how the rewind can struggle a bit, just due to the old rubber on the tire here. So by oh goodness so by going at this with some rubber renew, that's going to rejuvenate the rubber, and that'll hopefully help this thing rewind much better. Now, I can't remember if I tried rewinding on this unit before. I'm sure I did, and I'll see that if I go through my old footage as I edit this. But if not, then, well, I presume the rewind was going to be a bit rubbish. There's a safe assumption on these units. I'll just do one more pass through. This one doesn't really seem to have needed. I'm not seeing a lot of gunk coming onto the cotton swab here. Okay. That feels good. I'm very happy with that. So I'll put the idler tire back in place there. Okay. Get the E-clips back on here. There we go. Just nice and easy, because you obviously don't want these things flying about. Yeah, just get needing those pliers here. Try and position it so that it's flush against the indentation in the shaft where it's supposed to go. Just there we are. Okay, that is that. So now I think we'll get to the, see if I can open up the reels here. So to do this, at first, it's going to be really hard. If you're the first one doing it, it's going to be really hard to get to it because they shut it with some Loctite. So you're going to be turning against, breaking up that Loctite that's been there for 50 years. But just turn it counterclockwise, like undoing any other screw. Eventually, you'll get there. Yeah, you can see the glue coming apart. You use a 5.5, one of these 5.5 hex sockets. I still can't remember the exact name, but it's a 5.5 of that. Jeez Louise, it feels like the screwdriver is going to break in my hands. Just hold down the reel. Just keep turning counterclockwise, and it feels like I got it now. Yep. And it's spring loaded, so oh yeah, okay. Now we got that off. So just be mindful where you put these parts, of course. Got pinned here. It's dirty. Then again, that doesn't really. Okay. Another E-clip, but this one's pretty big, so shouldn't be hard to misplace. So we have one washer. Should be, yeah. There's another one stuck at the bottom that gets stuck at the bottom. So we have one washer. I guess there's still a washer, even though it's very wide, and then another washer underneath that. And this is the supply reel here that just comes off, and well, there's the base. So now here, yeah, it does feel. I mean, it wouldn't hurt to get some oil in there. That is why I took this apart after all. Just get rid of all the crap that's accumulating at the bottom here. Clean up the inside of the actual supply hub here. I wouldn't apply oil to this just because it's plastic, and I don't want anything weird to happen to the plastic over the years. So I would just say, just make sure you just clean out all the gunk, and that should really take care of it. Yeah, like I'm seeing a whole bunch of tape stuff here. Yeah, I get the base here. Some residues built up. also get the sides here, since make sure these are clean, since these come in contact with the pads here, the felt pads for back tension, all that junk. So make sure there's nothing messing up the pads. It doesn't seem to be very good. Yeah. Okay. Underneath this, the supply reel, the actual take-up reel actually has this big hub underneath all of that, where the play motor comes in contact with it and gets it to turn. Also, the idler tire and fast forward will press up just like up against this hub here at the bottom to turn it. So it's good to get this, make sure this is all nice and clean. Alright, that's as realistically as I'll be able to get the hub clean. So now for the fun part of getting oil down there. The bearing is, this copper part here. This copper part here. There, you can see that now. So just squirt a little oil. Not a crazy amount, just do a bunch of up and downs, really get it in there. Yeah. Oil is overflowing a little bit, so I know it's as full as it'll get. Yeah, I don't know if I mentioned before, but there's a felt pad here that always presses up against the take-up reel, except for play. So you gotta move that out of the way to be able to freely move the take-up hub. But yeah. Okay. So I'll wipe off the excess oil here. Okay. So I'll just put everything in reverse assembly order. One thing I will say about these three washers here, this is something that I learned from Renee Gonzalez on YouTube, is that I do recommend his advice of, so the original order is this bottom, this middle, this washer top. Put the big washer at the bottom, and then the middle-sized washer, and then the small washer on top. Some reason that just works better upon reassembling all this. I'm not really sure why, but it makes less of a noise upon when the machine's in motion. So keep that in mind. It's weird, I know. Yeah, because this likes to sink all the time, so you really gotta push all the washers down and out of the way, so that you can get the E-clip into the little indent on the shaft here. Yeah, this might take a while. Oh yeah. Yeah, because jeez. Yeah, the washers just love to like get into the indent where the E clip is supposed to go. So you're like trying to scoot them out of the way, and it's just I just don't like that at all. Okay, the spring goes down. Okay, now the take up spool itself can go. Yep, that's definitely in the right spot. So I'm looking at, as you can see, there's the hole, and this is little lines coming out here. That's where the pin goes. The pin that's down there. So make sure all this gets aligned. Then first I can just manually tighten this, and then I'll get the bit out. Okay. Oh man. Oh well. Actually, it goes this way. Yeah, it's a good thing we did that because that is a world of difference. Wow. I haven't ever taken the AC motor apart. I'm sure you can do that and get some lubricant in there, but since I haven't done that, I won't do that on here. Um, the head drums. I mean, the head drum feels like it spins a-okay, so I don't think I'll go through the trouble of. Well, maybe just for completeness sake, I'll show you how to take the head drum off. Yeah, so this nut here, rotate that clockwise, get that off. Still righty tighty, lefty loosey, if you know if you catch my drift. Yeah, that just, and then it just lifts off like that. And yeah, there's a slot in the shaft here, so you can only put the head drum back in one way. And there's your single head. There's a dummy head over here for some reason. And then just the oil, get oil in the drum. Oops. Clean off excess. With the head drum oiled up, replace the head drum. Make sure I do this carefully because I don't want to destroy a perfectly good head. Okay, then twist the nut here counterclockwise. Yeah, okay. Yep. Alright, now we can do the final touch of cleaning off the head drum itself. Of course, as always, don't snag the head. Steer clear of it once you reach that point in the upper drum. Just use the same alcohol I've been using for the whole clean, because why not? Okay, so reminder that the head drum on Quasar spin clockwise as opposed to counterclockwise on your VHS beta units. So when you clean the head with your computer paper, just spin the head drum clockwise. Incidentally, it's the same rotation on U-matic. Yeah, the head drum's very clean. Well, the video head in particular, very clean. So, yep. Okay. And by the time I get the basket in and all that, it'll be ready to test, so. Oh. And yeah, when I had this out of the player, I did clean up the some of the debris on the basket. This thing was clearly in a smoker's house at some point. My goodness, there's so much junk. Okay, all the screws were placed on this. That's basically everything I do when restoring these units. So let's get the TV on, get this plugged in, and see how it operates now. Okay, so the unit's on. Well, just first and foremost, the lever is just so much easier to operate now. So we got tape in there. Let's see, how does fast forward work? Fast forward's good. You can see that spool working. How about rewind? Yeah, rewind's good as well. And when I shift this into play.
And that means you dumb cowboy. You know, trucking Coors beer east of Texas is bootlegging.
That looks beautiful.
Georgia, son. Just a friendly bet. These two old boys, they put me up to it. Now, when you gonna learn? Big and little units for them make that same bet with every gear jammer they can.
I say he ain't gonna go for your
This is it turning all the way here to the left, so now it's mid. Tracking, very good.
Legal or not.
Yeah, I gotta say that looks great. I didn't realize I got my face in there. Hey guys. But yeah, this thing looks to be running smooth as can be. I mean, I see some smearing at the top there, some tearing, but like I think it'll be fine as is. Just generally a skew thing, but adjusting the skew isn't doing much. Not from what I can tell. So yeah, I think that just about does it. I mean, I'd be happy with this machine as is. I know you could technically replace some of the Mitsubishi caps that leaked, but let's be honest, this thing looks good as is, and I feel like even on the machines I've done it on, the difference hasn't been, has not been night or day, if it's noticeable at all. So I'm just not even going to bother. I'll just have this as is. Well, guys, I'm going to put this thing back together and basically call it there. Thank you very much for watching. I hope this answered some of your questions about restoring these things. As you saw, I mean, I've done it, a fair amount of times by this point, so to me, it's second nature doing all this. When your first time doing it, I assure you, it's gonna be a little awkward when you do it for the first time. But again, it's something that you get used to, and I hope I gave you a good guidelines for how to get these things running smooth as can be after being in storage for 50 years at this point. So, thanks again for watching, and you all take care now. Alright guys, I didn't want to leave you hanging on how this thing operates with everything back in place. So, turn this. Oh no. That's one thing I should have. Shoot. Anyway, yeah, maybe I should re-grease that or whatever. I don't know. So yeah, powering on now. Let's put a tape in. Much smoother than it was before I took this off.
Over there behind his face.
Who wants to see him? Who's asking? I'm asking. But I'm the guy paying him $25 a day, so all his loyal fans can look at him. Do it. Combine your attraction for a half an hour.
There it is, folks. Playing like a beauty. And then we'll do the fast forward. Excellent, excellent. Yeah, the power switch. I wish that, of course, I put everything back together and that problem now pops up. But it's just, yeah, it's just a matter of something sticking on the bottom side of the chassis that works to keep the power switch in place. But anyway.
Do we really want to talk about legs?
I say that does it, guys. For good this time. Until I gotta look at the power switch. Because apparently that now wants to be a thorn in my side. But yeah, I say this thing's basically up and running. Aside from that. So, for real this time, take care.